Hi everyone, so welcome back to Next Who Would Win. I'm a little on the tired side, but I'm generally okay. And as I said, I'm a little late on this, by the way, sorry about that. But as I said, so who would win? I couldn't do Gizmo Duck versus Robocop, even though I think that would have been a fun match, because I couldn't find a list of Gizmo Duck's gizmos, or his abilities, his strength, and things like that. I could find like a general list, but nothing concrete on what to pertain to. So I changed it up. Instead I went to Akuma versus Yujiro Hanma from Baki the Grappler. For those of you who don't know who that is, if you've ever watched the anime Baki the Grappler, that's his dad, and he is the strongest mother effer in the world. He's the strongest creature in the world, and he knows it. So they also look quite similar, and Akuma is considered one of the, if not the strongest Street Fighter, maybe on par with Bison, but he's also even actually beaten Bison, so generally speaking, he's considered among the strongest of the Street Fighters. So, well, I've heard more than one. I guess not the best way to put it. I've heard a couple people actually talk about that matching, so screw it, let's do this matching. So we'll start with Akuma. Akuma stands at 5'10", he weighs 179 pounds. He's basically cold, pure, just death, basically. He's got a very cold demeanor. He only cares about, opponents that are worth his while. He almost never goes full strength in combat. He believes himself basically, he basically has a philosophy of self-worth. And, he basically, if you are the strongest you can be, then you are the most powerful. You are basically, he's arrogant in that sense, but he's also got a sense of pride that, he's not going to fight a weakened opponent unless in the circumstance. He has a very big despising of hubris, arrogance, ego, anything like that. He hates that. So that plays a bit in his personality. He's a man with some honor, but he's also just a man who's just trying to improve his abilities and just fight the strongest guys he can, to improve and get a good challenge. But he hates the arrogance behind anyone who does it. So that's an X factor in terms of personality wise. Now, one second there. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. Yeah, he looks for strong opponents. Now, he does have some honor, as I said. That being said, Akuma is kind of more, he was retconned a little while ago, or not retconned, but it was non-canon that he is kind of actually a demon, part demon. So, but that being said, he is very much, his style revolves around, what is the name of it? I can't remember the actual name of the style, but it's almost like the Force, there's a light side and a dark side. He went over to the dark side. He is almost like evil personified a little bit. But that being said, he's an evil who hates more deplorable, despicable types of evil. That's why he hates M. Bison, because he's actually even more worse, despicable type of evil. So he really does hate different. He hates evils he thinks are worse. He is at sometimes the lesser evil. His style revolves around having basically total control, counterattacking, and dealing heavy damage. Now, in terms of feats, couldn't really find many feats of his, even though he's done things like bring down a skyscraper with little difficulty, defeat someone like M. Bison. He's more than capable of taking out guys 10 times his size and things along those lines. He's a very powerful combatant. That being said, he suffers from low stamina. It doesn't take. It would still take a lot from, a martial artist, but in terms of actual hits, so say like Reese fighting Ryu just has to give me like 4 to 5 really solid hits and maybe a finisher to really take him out. And then again, we're talking about like, someone near his tier. Anyone like, if I were to throw a punch, boom, it's like, I'm not a martial artist, so at least not professionally. So that's probably his biggest weakness. He's not really arrogant per se because he despises hubris, even though he himself is a little bit of hubris himself. But we all have a bit of hubris. And then you get into his list of techniques. Now, as I said, his techniques, there's a laundry list of them, but generally speaking, he's got a few key moves. One is the Goken, which is a projectile attack, which a lot of Street Fighters use. He has I'm going to probably butcher some of these names. So Ashrama Seku, which is basically a fast teleportation, get behind the opponent type of move. And then, of course, he has a couple like key finisher techniques. There's the Kogua Korizet Susan. It's a ground strike. If you play the game, you know what it is. He strikes the ground, energy comes up like a crackling energy. And of course, he has the Raging Demon, which is designed to literally destroy a man's soul. So yeah, most individuals or would be very keen, unless you have some sort of like inner soul protection. Like say, like I don't know, he goes upward to fight. I don't know, someone just literally has protection against with their soul. Doctor Doom's got his armor to prevent that for magic purposes. If you're to fight Doctor Doom, he'd be protected from that. But still, the point remains. Anyone who doesn't have a general protection from such things would generally be susceptible to that technique. So that's Akuma, basically. It's not a very long list, really, because he's a video game character. Even though they did make, like, I don't know if they made an anime. I think they made a movie, like a couple animated movies, but I don't think they actually made, like, an anime to detail the events. However, that's generally Akuma in a nutshell. He's an extremely powerful, fierce combatant, but he does have some low stamina. Then we have Yujiro Hanma. Now, Yujiro Hanma, I had to actually, they didn't say what his actual height was on the, things was on the, site, so I had to do the conversion factor. He's 6'3", he's standing 6'3" at 264 pounds. Right there, he's a good 90 pounds heavier and 4 inches taller and still all muscle, so it's not fat. See, now, where Akuma may be kind of cruel, but just very cold, and just kind of like, stern fighter, Yujiro is a freaking beast, psychotic monster of a man. He's cruel, he's unforgiving, he battles simply for the love of it, and he hungers for more battle. He's arrogant beyond a belief, because, as I said, he is the strongest creature on Earth that is canon in Baki the Grappler. It's also canon that he knows this fact. Now, before I go into his feats, let's get clear. This is a man who's strong enough to stop tectonic movement with just punching the ground. He's held back 100 riot police on his own. He can crush diamond into dust with his bare hand. He is rumored to hit with the power of a nuclear impact. He can shock. He can cause a shockwave through a building by flexing his muscles, which is possibly caused by his aura. He's so fast he can avoid bullets. Bullets generally actually just bounce off him, even though he can avoid them. He can stop missiles, durable enough to, basically, as I said, stop bullets, withstand a missile impact without a scratch, this man is not really a man so much as a monster. He has his muscles flex in the shape of an ogre on his back, which apparently even increases his strength further. His style is not so much a one single style. It's a very mixed martial art. He's studied many styles, and he's basically capable of learning styles very much on the from just viewing them once. He is also extremely intelligent, having vast medical knowledge because he has advanced. He knows basically human anatomy inside out. That way, he can just hit someone like boom, and they're down if he wants to. Now, in terms of feats, as I said, he's stopped gunfire by doing nothing but standing there. He's stopped it. He's stopped an earthquake with his bare fist. He literally, during the Vietnam War, I believe, went over to America. Forgive me if I get some of this wrong. I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit of this, but it's the general pretense. You can correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong in this any way. I don't believe I am. But he went to America and took on the entire American armed forces and won. And he's got immediate amnesty from any president that goes in, particularly President Bush when he was in office, who was basically being his cab driver. And to tie our Baki the Grappler series, from what I remember, the only time he actually withstood it's been a long time since I watched the series, but the only time I remember him really being hurt is when one opponent he had actually turned his own punch on himself, because, it's the old adage, you want to destroy something indestructible, throw something indestructible at it. Something with equal density, matter, anything like that will destroy something of the same density, matter, all that. So, yes, this man, he's literally taken on his son, he's taken on a number of different martial arts throughout the series and beaten them all single-handedly. He withstood a lightning strike in a crowd, did not flinch, and just kept walking. The man, if you want to call him a man, is a beast. He is an absolute monster. And that's why he was kind of the best part of that show. So, yeah, he can stop, another thing, he can stop blades with his bare hands. So, Yujiro Hanma, I mean, if you were to say he has any weakness at all, is that he really is just so freaking arrogant that if he were to finally come up against someone who is, in fact, stronger and better than him, he probably would not see it coming. He'd still take his opponent seriously as daring a guy to fight him with one finger and kicking his ass. But still, he's still, if he were to go up against someone as strong as he was, or stronger, and, actually have difficulty, he'd probably be having fun with it, but his arrogance would get the better of him, I think, and that's why he would lose in that fight. That's the only known way. I mean, clearly, taking a missile to strike is one thing. I doubt he could, survive something like a bar or nuclear blast or anything like that, but still, that's going too extreme. Also, it says he's immune to any known disease, so, yeah, he's pretty much not even human at this point. But you can make the argument Akuma isn't either. So the way this fight breaks down is very much the way you think this fight would break down. They're probably all wandering, or one of them hears about the other, and they meet, and you're like, Baki's dad's probably like Yujiro's, and I hear you're pretty strong, you want to go? It's like, and then they probably mock, and Akuma's just like, and they fight. And the fight would probably break down like this, is that Akuma is probably definitely a tougher opponent than Yujiro's probably faced in, say, the Baki series, and the Baki the Grappler series. But there's no record of how strong Akuma actually is, or not necessarily how fast, but generally speaking, what their speed, durability, all that. One of the things that Yujiro immediately has him over, though, is first off, he's physically taller, heavier, and it's still mostly, if not all, it's still the proportion of my muscle, so he's already probably just physically tougher. Well, he's guaranteed physically tougher. Akuma is known to have low stamina. So right there, Akuma's got the stamina disadvantage. Whereas Yujiro has never really been hurt by anyone but himself, more or less. So he's got that. Yujiro's got that in his corner. Now, in terms of speed, Yujiro's fast enough to dodge gunfire and missiles and things like that, or just tank them in general. But Akuma has a teleportation technique. Now, Baki's dad, I'm going to go back from calling him Baki's dad to Yujiro. Now, Yujiro is capable of mimicking a martial art just by seeing it once. So Akuma and him are probably going to duke it out for a while, and he's probably just going to start copying Akuma's abilities before Akuma actually goes in to say, I never make a mention is it ki or whatever they're using. I'm going to say it's ki, or chi in this case. What we'll call it chi is chi energy, basically goes into the energy blast. But that's the thing. He has that teleportation technique. Now, that would more than likely catch him off guard. He would assume, though, that he probably, for the first time, Akuma teleporting and probably gets a good solid hit. And I'm going to go on the limb and saying Akuma could actually probably hurt Yujiro. Akuma, I think, is strong enough to hurt him. And he would probably catch him off guard, and Yujiro would be like, and like, what? And then they'd duke it out. Yujiro would probably start getting hits in, and Akuma wouldn't be able to take too many of his hits. Because, again, man with the power to stop and blow, rumored to have a nuclear impact for a punch. Yeah, Akuma with low stamina. I mean, low in terms of Street Fighter. He's still got high stamina by any man his general look and build. But yeah, he's gonna do his best to avoid those. That being said, the teleportation thing might work once or twice. After that, the viewers are gonna expect it. Again, that begs the question about his energy techniques. Now, the Goken, I believe it was called the Gohoken or whatever it was called, the energy projectile. Both of them are very intelligent fighters. He's probably gonna understand that this man's got durability that's is really on a level I can't match. So I am going to assume he's not going to just go from a distance and fire his Goken. I'm going to just call it the Goken. You correct me if I'm mispronouncing it. It's fine if you do. I don't care. I'm mispronouncing it. I know what it is. He's probably going to try a point-blank range attack with that, and that might singe Yujiro, because I don't think Yujiro's actually ever gone up against an energy technique before like that, so that might be something new for him, and he'd probably be excited. It's like that actually hurt. That burned. And he just gets that maniacal, menacing demon grin. His shirt's I would even imagine his shirt would be just ripped off and it's burned, so he just takes off, flexes it. He's even stronger and starts beating the crap out of him. I don't think, now that being said, I don't think I should take that back. The lightning factor, the fact he tanked lightning bolt probably wouldn't mean anything then because of the Goken. Now the Goken would probably burn his shirt off and maybe even give him a little singe. But again, it's an energy technique of a different variation. That being said, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it this time. The smashing the ground energy wave is not going to do crap against him because it's depicted as an energy kind of lightning-based technique, and as we've seen, lightning won't do crap against him. So that leaves basically Akuma's raging demon. Now, this breaks down to whether Yujiro is really strong enough to withstand an attack on his soul. And I'm going to say he is. That being said, I think that would definitely be, that attack would come as a certain surprise to him, though. And while I think his soul would be strong enough to survive said attack, I do think that would be something that would definitely not cripple him. Definitely, like he would be down, like he wouldn't actually know what hit him. And Akuma would probably be surprised as fucking hell if that happened. Like, he survived. It's like, whoa. And then it would basically... And then it comes just down to he survived it, but then it comes down to a battle who's going to last longer. And in that case, then the winner's going to be Yujiro. Yujiro is just a freaking beast powerhouse. It's unfortunately nowhere near as close as some people I think want to make it. And I'm not saying that Akuma might not be able to win, or might be able to win. No, I'm not saying he couldn't win. I'm just saying that it's very unlikely Akuma can win. Simply because Yujiro is just too freaking OP. He's just physically tougher and stronger than Akuma is. Akuma might have a slight speed advantage, maybe, but Yujiro just has more power. He hits again with the force of a nuclear impact. When against a guy who's got recorded low stamina in the Street Fighter world, that's not good. I mean, Akuma might be good at countering attacking, but so is Yujiro, and he's probably even better at counterattacking because he's studied far more martial arts. And then you get into the whole Raging Demon thing, and again, I'm pretty certain Yujiro's soul is menacing and demented enough to survive the Raging Demon, albeit take a decent, hit, a good solid punch to his gut and soul, and he'd actually probably be flabbergasted for a moment. Flabbergast! But in the end, I think Yujiro's going to win this. In fact, I think he's going to win this 90% out of 100. He's going to win this 90 out of 100 times. The only thing Akuma's really got going for him is the Raging Demon, and I don't even know if that would beat him. I think Akuma is, if it would. That being said, if maybe Akuma capitalized on him, being really stunned and taken back by the by the Raging Demon, then maybe he wins. But that's a real big if. So I'm going to have to give this a 90% in Yujiro's favor. So this would win. Yujiro Hanma wins 90% of the time. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review things, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do it at some point. And pay no attention to my notes. I'm just going down what the next Who Would Win is going to be. And our next Who Would Win is going to be... Yeah, this should be fun. Captain Planet versus Avatar Aang. So, I'll do my research for that. So, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Actually, I'll see you in a little bit. I got one review to do.